amazing. John is calmer. He's happy. He's actually got a life.
Sarah is a different person. And, yeah, it gives you more enthusiasm to do more.
It's actually changed the whole way Richard looks at his life and the opportunities that are going to be available to him, and in how he lives, who he lives with, where he lives, the things he does in the community as well.
The Get In There project came out of a research project run by the Foundation for People with Learning Difficulties, and they are looking at how people with high support needs can have a life in the community.
At its heart, it's about enabling anybody to play a real part in their community, to be involved, to be included. The whole notion of community in today's world is a very challenging one for all of us. For individuals like Richard, John and Sarah, that challenge is even greater.
The stance was to develop circles of support around individuals, and that circle of support would work in a person-centred way to facilitate the individual to have a life where they could become valued members of their community.
It's a two-way thing really, isn't it? Any contact that Sarah has with the community encourages the community to see people like Sarah and to accept them, and that includes them more again, so it has a knock-on effect.
From the project, Sarah's become more athletic, or shall I say she uses her body more. Swimming and horse riding. That has obviously done her good. Before, you know, she was just sort of there and not moving around that much.
Richard first became involved in the Get In There project after I attended the launch and realised on the day of the launch that a space had become available, and I just thought that it would be a really good opportunity for Richard to actually be involved in something like that. And my hopes of that were that he'd get more community access, more involvement in his local community.
Have you told Karen that you went to London? Did you know that you went to London?
Pictures.
Yeah? You went to a conference in London.
It's smart.
You ran a workshop there. All about your circle of support.
The project brought together people and spoke to Richard about who knew him, who were close to him, and then he developed a circle of support. We met for the first time in this pub, which Richard dictated where he wanted it and who we wanted at this meeting. He developed a life story from that, from his past, his present, and which would include what he wanted in the future. And he was making the decisions.
And that was the screen where your film went up on. And those were we asked everybody what questions they would like to ask Richard. And then we worked through them. That's right. Your name was up in print. Not mine, yours. Yeah, I know. Your name. I've never had the opportunity to work with such an organic team of people, friends and family, people who really, really like and respect that individual, working to understand what it is in that person's life that they want, and look at ways to actually achieve it.
Well, what I wanted was for John to have a life of his own, what he wouldn't get on before.
Well done. Brilliant.
Hello. Look at all these people.
You know, he was in all the time. The only one that was taking him out was me. And he didn't really have no space of his own. But now, he goes out for a meal on a Friday. There we go. And he also goes to swimming, which he wasn't doing before.
I think the benefits for John McAllister and his carer, his mother Lil, is a Get In There project is kind of allowed them to have someone else speak for them, and what it's done for John is it's allowed John to remain in the community and become an active part of that.
My name is Hayley.
I'm a peer advocate for John. I'm doing a part of a communication book. I'm using pictures so people can understand John.
I'll be honest with you, Lily was always at the bottom of every bit of help that was available, and there was never anybody to really be there for her and John. Now you've got so much better for you and John, isn't it?
Lil and John themselves are going on a week's holiday in September.